My daughter-in-law brought a notary to steal my $1 million house. I am Marshall, and I should have seen this coming. She thought I was just a grieving old man after my heart surgery. Easy prey for her real estate scam. What Amanda didn't know was that her mobile notary was actually FBI agent Robert Hayes, my former bailiff, who had been investigating her fraud ring for 2 years. When she demanded I sign over my $1.5 million family home at our Memorial Day barbecue, I decided it was time to teach her about federal wire fraud laws. I simply asked to see the notary's credentials first. If you're watching this, please subscribe =config and let me know where you're watching from. This is the story of how a family barbecue became a federal crime scene. How a woman who saw weakness discovered that 35 years on the federal bench teaches you to recognize every type of predator. And how sometimes the quietest person in the room holds all the power. Let me explain why Amanda Reynolds thought I was the perfect target. 7 months earlier, I had buried my wife, Catherine. After 45 years of marriage, cancer took her quickly. The house felt empty. 3,500 square feet of memories and silence. Then came the heart surgery in April. Quadruple bypass. Doctor Elizabeth Carter at Mercy Hospital said I was lucky to survive. Amanda visited exactly once. She spent the entire time walking through rooms, taking photos for insurance purposes. "Dad, Marshall, you shouldn't be living alone," she said, studying my kitchen marble countertops. "This place is worth what now, over $1 million?" 1.5. Actually, we bought it in 1990 for $200,000. She smiled. The predator smile I had seen in courtrooms for decades. My son Daniel worked in construction. A good man. But Amanda had him fooled. Married 6 years. No kids yet. He thought his wife cared about my health. I knew better. Amanda started visiting weekly after my surgery. Always with her phone. Always taking pictures. She would mention how confused I seemed. How I forgot conversations we had never had. "Maybe we should talk about your living situation." She would say, "Daniel and I could help manage your finances." The first red flag came during a Wednesday visit in May. She brought documents. "I found this great assisted living facility," she said, spreading brochures across my walnut dining table. "Golden Oaks, only $4,200 a month. I am not going anywhere. Amanda." "But what if something happens? What if you fall? What if you forget to take your medication?" She had this way of speaking slowly, like I was a child, each word deliberate and condescending. "I have been taking care of myself for 70 years. That was before the surgery. Dad Marshall, before the grief. You are different now. Different." That word would echo in my head for weeks. The second red flag came in early June. I caught her in my study photographing my financial documents. "Just updating our family records," she said, not even looking embarrassed. That was when I made my first phone call to my old workplace. Not to some random courthouse employee. To people who mattered. Marshall calling, "Yes, it has been a while. Listen, I need some advice about suspicious legal documents." Amanda did not know about that call. She did not know about the conversations that followed. She saw a confused old man living alone in a valuable house. What she should have seen was a retired federal judge who had spent 28 years watching criminals make the same mistakes over and over. But Amanda was confident. She had done this before. I was not her first elderly target. The third red flag came the Friday before Memorial Day. She arrived with Daniel for family planning. "We have been thinking," Daniel said, clearly rehearsed. "Maybe it is time to sell the house. Get you somewhere safer." "The market is perfect right now," Amanda added. I could handle the sale. No commission for family. I studied her face. The eager eyes. The slight tension around her mouth. Where would I live? That is the beautiful part. She said, you could move in with us temporarily, then find a nice retirement community. Daniel nodded along. My own son manipulated by this woman. I need time to think. Of course, Amanda said. Take all the time you need. But I could see the impatience, the calculation. She was running out of time for something. That weekend, I made my second call to the federal building, this time to someone very specific. Robert Hayes, Financial Crimes Division. Robert, it is Judge Marshall. Long pause. Judge Marshall. Sir, it has been 16 years. Something like that. Listen, I might need a favor. The house was not just real estate. It was everything. Catherine and I had bought it in September 1990 with our life savings. $20,000 down payment on a $200,000 mortgage. I was making $45,000 as a new federal judge. We ate ramen for months. But we had a vision. Catherine painted every room herself. I installed the walnut floors. Working weekends. We planted the oak tree in the front yard when Laura was born. 35 years of mortgage payments. Every dollar accounted for. The final payment made in 2025, 3 months before Catherine died. Now it was worth $1.5 million. Chicago real estate had exploded. More importantly, it was Laura's inheritance. My daughter, the nurse practitioner working double shifts at Children's Hospital, single mother raising my 9-year-old grandson, Billy. She would never be able to afford a house in this market. Grandpa Marshall, will this always be our family house? Billy had asked during my recovery. As long as I am breathing, buddy. That promise meant everything. If Amanda succeeded, Billy would lose his inheritance. Laura would lose her security, and I would lose the last connection to Catherine. But the stakes went deeper than money. Friday night, I could not sleep. My chest hurt, but not from surgery, from rage. I walked through the house reviewing what Amanda did not know. She did not know about the $500,000 in my savings account. Money from Catherine's life insurance and careful investing over 4 decades. She did not know about my mental competency evaluation from Dr. Carter. Amanda had suggested I was confused, so I had gotten tested. Results cognitive function of a 55-year-old. She did not know about my conversation with Dr. Carter about Amanda's visits. She asks very specific questions about your mental state. Dr. Carter had said, questions that sound like someone building a legal case for incompetency. Most importantly, Amanda did not know about Robert Hayes. Robert had been my bailiff from 1999 to 2009. Smart kid from Springfield, criminal justice degree, but he wanted federal law enforcement. I had written his recommendation letter for the FBI Academy. You will make a fine agent, I had told him at his graduation. Just remember, the best cases come to those who wait. 16 years later, he was investigating financial crimes targeting the elderly. Judge Marshall, what exactly is your daughter-in-law planning? Robert had asked during our call. Document fraud, I suspect. She has been photographing my financial records, asking about power of attorney, mentioning my supposed confusion to family members. How long has this been going on since my heart surgery? She is building a case for incompetency. Robert was quiet for a moment. Sir, we have been investigating similar schemes. Real estate agents targeting elderly homeowners. The pattern fits. What pattern? Medical crisis creates vulnerability. Family member claims mental incompetence. Forged documents transfer property. House gets sold immediately, usually below market value to avoid scrutiny. My blood went cold. How many victims in Illinois alone? 50 confirmed cases in the last 3 years. We have recovered 2.5 million so far. 50 elderly people. 50 families destroyed. Is Amanda Reynolds part of your investigation? She has been on our radar. Real estate license, gambling problems, financial pressure. But we needed evidence of active fraud. What kind of evidence? Recorded conversations, forged documents, attempted notarization of fraudulent transfers. I understood immediately. You need her to commit the crime. We need her to attempt the crime with a federal witness present. What kind of federal witness? Robert chuckled. The kind that shows up when someone requests a mobile notary service. The plan crystallized. Simple, legal, elegant. Amanda would arrange the document signing. She would hire a mobile notary through an online service. That notary would be Agent Hayes working undercover. What do you need from me? I asked. Just be yourself. Judge. Document everything. Record conversations if it is legal in Illinois. And when she makes her move, let her dig her own grave. Exactly. That weekend, I prepared like I was building a federal case, because I gathered 35 years of property documents, mortgage papers from 1990 tax records showing every payment, insurance policies proving mental competency. I installed a digital recorder in my study. Illinois is a two-party consent state, but I documented carefully. I documented Amanda's visits in a journal, dates, times, conversations, photographs she had taken. Most importantly, I called Laura. Dad, what is going on? Your sister-in-law is planning something. I need you at the Memorial Day barbecue. What kind of something? The kind that ends with her in federal prison. The Wednesday before Memorial Day, Amanda made her move. She arrived at 2:45 p.m. with Daniel, both of them serious, like they had rehearsed this conversation. Dad, Marshall, we need to talk, Daniel said. They sat across from me at my kitchen table, the same table where Catherine and I had planned our retirement. We are concerned about your decision-making, Amanda began. I hit record on my phone. What kind of decision-making? Well, for instance, you told Mrs. Jenkins next door that someone was stealing your mail. Someone was stealing my mail, but the post office said there were no complaints filed because I had handled it myself. But I did not correct her. And last week you could not remember our conversation about the assisted living tour, Amanda continued. We never had that conversation. See, that is exactly what I mean. Daniel shifted uncomfortably. Dad, maybe you should consider some help with finances, with decisions. What kind of help? Amanda leaned forward. A power of attorney. Temporary. Just until you are fully recovered. Power of attorney for what? Medical decisions, financial decisions, real estate decisions. There it was. Who would have this power of attorney? Daniel and I could share it. Amanda said, for your protection. Protection from what? From making mistakes, from people taking advantage of you. The irony was breathtaking. What mistakes have I made? Amanda exchanged a look with Daniel. Well, keeping this big house, the maintenance costs alone must be $16,000 a year. $15,400 last year. She blinked. You remember that exactly. I remember everything exactly. But you could not remember our assisted living conversation. Because we never had one. Amanda's voice got harder. Marshall, you are in denial. This house is too much for you. The neighborhood is changing. Property taxes are going up. Property taxes are $5,200 annually. That is a lot of money for someone on a fixed income. My income is not fixed. Social Security and the small pension cannot cover. I receive $4,500 monthly in federal retirement, plus investment income averaging $2,000 monthly, plus Catherine's life insurance settlement. Amanda's face flushed. You do not need to get defensive. I am not defensive. I am factual. Daniel tried to mediate. Dad, we are just trying to help. Help with what specifically? With managing your assets, Amanda said, before something happens. What kind of something? Cognitive decline, another medical emergency, financial exploitation. Who would exploit me financially? Silence. I mean, Amanda recovered. Con artists, telemarketers, door-to-door scammers. Have any contacted me? Not yet. But so you want power of attorney to protect me from hypothetical criminals. Marshall, you are twisting my words. I am repeating your words. Amanda stood up. This is exactly the problem. You are argumentative, suspicious, confused about simple conversations. Which conversations? The assisted living conversation. The one we never had. Daniel looked between us. Maybe we should take a break. No, Amanda said. This needs to be settled. Marshall, the truth is, you are not capable of managing a property this size anymore. Based on what evidence? Based on 4 months of watching you struggle with basic tasks. Name one basic task I have struggled with. Remembering to take your medication. I have never missed a dose. Paying bills on time. I have never paid a bill late in my life. Maintaining the house. I hired Lawson Landscaping for yard work and Peterson Handyman Services for repairs. Both businesses I have used for 13 years. Amanda was getting desperate. Marshall, you live in the past. You cannot accept that things have changed. What things? You have changed. The surgery changed you. Catherine's death changed you. Finally, the truth changed me. How you are weaker, older, more vulnerable. Vulnerable to what? To making bad decisions. To being taken advantage of. By whom? She could not say it. Could not admit she was the predator. By anyone who sees an elderly man living alone in $1 million house. I stood up slowly. Amanda, in 35 years as a federal judge, I learned to identify criminals by their patterns. What is that supposed to mean? Criminals always accuse their victims of the crimes they are planning to commit. Daniel looked confused. Dad, what are you talking about? Your wife is planning to steal this house. Amanda's face went white. That is insane. Is it? You photographed my financial documents. You have told family members I am incompetent. You have suggested I cannot live independently. And now you want power of attorney over my real estate. I'm trying to help you. No. You are trying to help yourself. To what? To my house. To my savings. To my son's inheritance. Daniel stood up. Dad, that is enough. Son, your wife has a $90,000 gambling debt. Amanda's mouth fell open. She owes money to people who break legs for late payments. How do you know that? Because I did what any judge would do. I investigated. Amanda was shaking. You investigated me. I made some phone calls to old friends. People who know how to find information. What kind of information? Bank records, credit reports, court filings from your previous real estate deals. Previous deals. The Thompson case in 2023. The Garcia case in 2024, elderly homeowners who signed documents they did not understand. Amanda grabbed her purse. I do not have to listen to this. No, you do not. But you do have to listen to this. I am hosting Memorial Day barbecue on Monday. Family only. You are welcome to bring your notary documents. Then, what notary documents? The ones you have been preparing. The power of attorney forms, the competency declarations. Bring them all. Why would I do that? because it is time to settle this once and for all. Amanda looked at Daniel. Your father is paranoid. Daniel looked at me. Dad, are you sure about this? Son, some lessons are best learned in public. That evening, I made my preparations. First, I called Robert Hayes, Judge Marshall. How did it go? She took the bait. Memorial Day, 2:45 p.m. She agreed to bring documents. She did not agree, but she will bring them. How can you be sure? Because she is desperate. 90,000 in debt. Bookies pressuring her. And she is convinced I am an easy mark. What is her timeline? Fast. She needs the house sold within 70 days to pay her debts. Robert was quiet. Sir, I need to ask, are you certain about this? She is family. Robert. She ceased being family the moment she decided to commit elder fraud. Understood. I will set up the mobile notary service, Premier Legal Services, completely fake company, but professional website. What about backup 3 agents in surveillance van, body cameras, full documentation? Good. One more thing. Yes, sir. She is going to claim I am incompetent. Have Dr. Carter's competency evaluation ready, already requested. Anything else? Yes. Bring handcuffs. Friday morning. Strange cars started appearing on my street. A utility repair van parked across from Mrs. Jenkins's house. 2 men inside, never working on utilities. A black sedan with government plates in the Smith's driveway. Mr. Smith was visiting his brother in Detroit. Amanda noticed nothing. Friday afternoon, she called. Marshall, I have been thinking about our conversation. Which part? The part where you accused me of terrible things. I did not accuse you. I stated facts. Those were not facts. Those were paranoid delusions. Dr. Carter disagrees. What, my doctor? Dr. Elizabeth Carter. She evaluated my mental state last week. You saw a doctor. Federal judges maintain security clearances even after retirement. Annual mental health evaluations are required. What did she say? That my cognitive function is normal, my decision-making is sound, and my concerns about family members are rational and well-founded. Silence. Amanda, are you there? I am here. Good. Bring that evaluation on Monday along with your documents. What documents? The ones you have been preparing. Saturday brought more visitors. My mailman, Gary Thompson, 35-year postal employee, knocked on my door. Mr. Marshall, those federal agents asked me to tell you something. What agents? Gary winked. The ones who have been watching your house. They said to tell you everything is in place. Thank you. Gary, Mr. Marshall, can I ask you something? Sure. Is your daughter-in-law really trying to steal your house? What makes you ask that? Because she offered me $60 to confirm that you seem confused when I deliver mail. What did you tell her? I told her, you are the sharpest person on this street. Always have been. Saturday evening. Laura called. Dad, what is really happening Monday? Your brother's wife is going to attempt document fraud. Document fraud. She is going to try to trick me into signing power of attorney papers. Cannot you just refuse? I could. But then she would try again with someone else. Another elderly victim. There are other victims. 50 that we know of. We the FBI and I. Dad, you are working with the FBI. Honey, I worked with the FBI for 28 years. Old habits. Is this dangerous for Amanda? Very. For you, not at all. I will be surrounded by federal agents. Federal agents are coming to our barbecue. Well, one of them is bringing coleslaw. Sunday morning, my final preparation. I called Daniel. Son, I need you to invite some extra people Monday. Like who, Mrs. Jenkins from next door, the Smith family, the Johnsons from down the street. Why? Because what is going to happen Monday should have witnesses. Dad. What is going to happen Monday? Justice, son. Justice. That weekend, Amanda made her own preparations. Sunday evening, she posted on Facebook, "Pray for my father-in-law, Marshall. His dementia is getting worse. We might need to make some difficult family decisions soon." 18 likes, 13 concerned comments. Laura screenshot the post and texted it to me. I forwarded it to Robert Hayes. He texted back, "Perfect evidence of premeditation. Monday night I could not sleep. Not from anxiety, from anticipation. 35 years on the federal bench teaches you patience, teaches you to build airtight cases, teaches you that justice, when it comes, is swift and final. Tomorrow, Amanda Reynolds would learn what happens when you target the wrong elderly victim. Tomorrow, my family would learn why they call me Judge Marshall." Memorial Day arrived with perfect weather. 80 degrees, clear skies, light breeze. Catherine would have loved it. I started grilling at noon. Burgers, hot dogs, corn on the cob. The whole neighborhood could smell my barbecue sauce. Laura arrived early with Billy. "Grandpa Marshall, Mom says something important is happening today. Something very important. Buddy, is it good important or bad important? That depends on your perspective." By 1:45, my backyard was full. 25 family members, 7 neighbors. Mrs. Jenkins brought her famous coleslaw. The Johnsons brought beer. The Smiths brought their 3 kids. Perfect witnesses. Daniel and Amanda arrived at 2:30 p.m. Sharp, Amanda carried a large manila envelope. "Marshall, you have got quite a crowd here," she said, surveying the gathering. Memorial Day tradition. Catherine started it in 1991. How nostalgic. Amanda seemed nervous. She kept checking her phone, glancing at the street. "Are you expecting someone?" I asked. "Actually, yes, a notary." "A notary? What for?" "For the documents we discussed, the power of attorney papers." The conversations around us gradually stopped. Family members turned to listen. "What power of attorney papers?" Laura asked. Amanda's smile was forced. "Just some legal housekeeping to help your father manage his affairs." "I manage my own affairs," I said calmly. "Marshall, we have been through this. You need help." Billy tugged my shirt. "Grandpa, what is power of attorney?" "It means giving someone else control over your house and money." "Buddy." "Why would you do that?" "I would not." Amanda's voice got louder. "Marshall, you are confusing the child. Am I Amanda or are you?" My nephew Michael Johnson stepped closer. "Uncle Marshall, what is this about Amanda believes I am mentally incompetent?" Murmurs rippled through the crowd. "I never said incompetent," Amanda protested. "What word would you use?" Diminished, confused, in need of guidance. Laura's voice was ice cold. "Guidance from whom?" "From family who care about his welfare. Like you, yes. Like me, Mrs. Jenkins. 85 years old and sharp as a razor. Spoke up. Marshall has been my neighbor for 35 years. His mind is clearer than most people half his age." Amanda turned to face her. "With respect, Mrs. Jenkins, you do not see him every day. Neither do you. I see him enough to notice the changes." "What changes?" demanded Laura. Amanda was getting flustered. The crowd was growing hostile. The forgetfulness, the confusion, the inability to make rational decisions. Like what decisions? Like refusing to consider assisted living. Like insisting on keeping this oversized house. Billy piped up. This is our family house. Amanda looked down at him. Honey, your grandfather cannot afford this house anymore. Yes, he can, Billy said. He told me he paid for it all by himself. Children do not understand adult finances. Neither do thieves. Mrs. Jenkins muttered. Amanda spun around. Excuse me, you heard me. The tension was electric. 31 people watching, waiting. Amanda's phone buzzed. She looked relieved. That is the notary. He is here. A professional-looking man in a gray suit approached our group. He carried a leather briefcase and official paperwork. Mrs. Reynolds, I am from Premier Legal Services. You requested mobile notary service, yes. Thank you for coming. What documents need notarization today? Amanda pulled papers from her manila envelope. Power of attorney transfer, medical decision authority, financial management authorization. The notary examined the papers. These are comprehensive documents. Mr. Marshall, do you understand what you are signing? I understand perfectly. And you are signing voluntarily that remains to be seen. Amanda shot me a warning look. Marshall, please do not be difficult. I am being careful. 35 years as a federal judge teaches you to read documents thoroughly. The notary paused. You are a federal judge, retired federal judge. Which district? Illinois District Court, appointed 1993, retired 2018. Amanda's face was pure panic. Marshall, that is not relevant, is it? You are asking a federal judge to sign legal documents without proper review. They are just family protection papers. No, they are not. I took the documents from the notary, read aloud. Marshall, being of diminished mental capacity due to age-related cognitive decline and recent medical trauma, hereby grants full power of attorney to Amanda Louise Reynolds for all real estate transactions, financial decisions, and medical choices. Gasps from the crowd. I never wrote that, Amanda stammered. Who did the legal service? They draft standard language. Which legal service? I do not remember the name. You do not remember who prepared documents giving you control of my $1 million house, Marshall? You are making this sound sinister. Am I? Let us see what else these papers say. I kept reading. In the event of Marshall's death or incapacitation, all assets transfer immediately to Amanda Louise Reynolds as primary beneficiary and estate executive. Laura exploded. What the hell? Amanda, it is not what it sounds like. It sounds like you are stealing our father's house. Daniel looked sick. Amanda, what is this? Insurance protection in case something happens to him. Protection for whom? I asked quietly. For the family. Which family? Our family, Amanda. My daughter and grandson are my family. You are just someone who married into it. The crowd was turning ugly. Angry murmurs. Protective glances toward me. Amanda was desperate now. Marshall, you need help. You cannot see it. But everyone else can. Can they, Mrs. Jenkins? Do I need help? The only help you need is getting rid of her. Mr. Johnson, do I seem confused? Sharp as ever. Marshall, Laura, do I have diminished mental capacity? You have the clearest mind in this family. Amanda was cornered. You are all enabling him. He is sick. He is incompetent. Someone needs to take control before he loses everything. Loses everything. To whom I asked. To scammers. To con artists. To people who prey on the elderly. The irony was breathtaking. People like who? Amanda. Like real estate fraudsters. What do you know about real estate fraud? I know it happens. I know elderly people get tricked into signing papers they do not understand. Papers like these? No. These are legitimate family protection documents. Are they? Mr. Hayes, what is your professional opinion? The notary smiled. Well, Mrs. Reynolds, since you asked. He opened his briefcase and pulled out a gold badge. FBI Special Agent Robert Hayes, Financial Crimes Division. And these documents constitute attempted elder fraud, forgery, and conspiracy to commit wire fraud. Amanda's world collapsed in that moment. The color drained from her face. Her hands started shaking. 31 witnesses watched her realize she had been caught. "This is entrapment!" she screamed. "No, ma'am," Agent Hayes said calmly. "This is justice." The silence stretched for 12 seconds. 31 people staring at Amanda. One FBI agent, one retired federal judge, and the sound of a woman's world crashing down. "You are FBI," Amanda whispered. "Special Agent Robert Hayes, Financial Crimes Division, Chicago Field Office. But you are a notary." "No, ma'am. I am an undercover federal agent investigating elder fraud." Amanda looked at me with pure hatred. "You set me up." "I documented a crime in progress." "What crime? I was trying to help you." Agent Hayes opened his briefcase fully. Inside, recording equipment, federal warrants, and a 2-year investigation file. "Mrs. Reynolds, you are under investigation for wire fraud, elder abuse, forgery, and conspiracy." "That is impossible." "Is it? Let me read from your communications." Hayes pulled out printed emails. Read aloud. Email to Jessica Garcia, May 20th, 2024. Found another target. Old judge, recent widower, heart surgery, house worth 1.5 mil. Should be easy. Amanda's face went white. Email to Marcus Lopez, May 27th. Need forged medical evaluation showing dementia. Same doctor template as Thompson case. Daniel stepped away from his wife. "Amanda, what is this email to Patricia Ramirez? June 15th. Booked mobile notary for Memorial Day. Marshall will sign everything." Too proud to admit confusion. The crowd was stunned. Laura looked like she wanted to murder someone. "Mrs. Reynolds," Hayes continued, "you are part of a real estate fraud ring that has stolen $2.5 million from 50 elderly victims across Illinois. I do not know what you are talking about. Do you not let us discuss the Thompson case?" Hayes pulled out another file. "Margaret Thompson, age 74, widowed, living alone in Naperville. You convinced her she had dementia, forged power of attorney, sold her house for $350,000 below market value. I never or the Garcia case. Eduardo Garcia, age 80, Alzheimer's diagnosis. You forged his daughter's signature on estate documents, stole his $450,000 home." Daniel looked sick. "Amanda, is this true?" "It is lies. Government lies. Mrs. Reynolds," I said quietly. "I spent 28 years as a federal judge. I know the difference between lies and evidence." "You are not a judge anymore." "No, but I still know a criminal when I see one." Amanda was panicking. "Marshall, this is insane. I am your family. You are a predator who married into my family. I love Daniel. You love Daniel's inheritance." Agent Hayes continued reading evidence. Bank records show Amanda Reynolds deposited $45,000 in April 2024, immediately after the Thompson house sale. That was a legitimate real estate commission from a house sale where you forged the seller's signature. I did not forge anything. Hayes held up documents. Handwriting analysis confirms you forged Margaret Thompson's signature on power of attorney papers. Handwriting analysis can be wrong. Video surveillance cannot. We have footage of you signing Thompson's name at First National Bank. Amanda was trapped. The evidence was overwhelming. Furthermore, Hayes said, we have recordings of your conversations with Marshall. What recordings? Illinois requires consent, but Judge Marshall has been documenting carefully. That is illegal. No, ma'am. It is evidence. Hayes pulled out a digital recorder. Pressed play. Amanda's voice filled the backyard. Marshall, you are weaker, older, more vulnerable to making bad decisions, to being taken advantage of. Then my voice. By whom? Amanda again. By anyone who sees an elderly man living alone in $1 million house. The crowd was riveted. Hearing the predator's own words, Hayes stopped the recording. Mrs. Reynolds, that is textbook elder fraud psychology. Isolation, vulnerability assessment, dependency creation. I was trying to help him by stealing his house, by protecting him. From whom? From con artists. The irony was painful. Laura started laughing. Not humor, pure disbelief. Amanda, Laura said, you are the con artist. I am family. No, Daniel said quietly. You are a criminal. That broke something in Amanda. She turned vicious. You are all idiots. Marshall is senile. He cannot manage money. He cannot live alone. Someone needs to take control. Someone like you, I asked. Yes, someone like me. I am the only one here who understands real estate. I am the only one who knows what this house is worth. What is it worth? Amanda, 1.5 million. And what is your gambling debt? That is none of your business, Agent Hayes answered. 94,200 owed to 4 different illegal bookmakers. How do you federal investigation, Mrs. Reynolds? We have been tracking your finances for 2 years. Amanda realized she was completely exposed. No escape, no lies left. Fine, she screamed. Yes, I need money. Yes, I owe people. Yes, Marshall's house could solve my problems, but that does not make me a criminal. Actually, I said it does. How? Because you attempted to commit wire fraud against a federal judge. You are retired. Federal judges never really retire. Amanda, we just moved to emeritus status. Agent Hayes smiled. Judge Marshall, would you like to explain federal sentencing guidelines for elder fraud? Certainly. Wire fraud targeting elderly victims carries a minimum 12-year sentence. Add forgery, conspiracy, and RICO violations. And you are looking at 28 years federal time. Amanda collapsed into a patio chair. 28 years minimum if you cooperate. Cooperate how names, addresses, financial records, every victim you have targeted. And if I do not cooperate, life sentence. The reality hit her. This was not a family dispute anymore. This was federal prison. Daniel walked over to his wife. Amanda. How long has this been going on, Daniel? I can explain. How long she could not answer. Agent Hayes answered. The fraud ring has been operating since 2020. Your wife joined in 2023. Daniel looked devastated. 4 years. You have been stealing from elderly people for 4 years. I needed money. For what? For us, for our future, for a house by stealing someone else's house. Amanda had no answer. Mrs. Jenkins spoke up. Young lady, I am 85 years old. I have seen every type of criminal. But someone who preys on elderly people, that is the lowest form of human being. The crowd murmured agreement. Amanda looked around desperately. No support, no sympathy. 31 people who now saw her for what she really was. Agent Hayes, I said, I believe you have a warrant. Yes, sir. He pulled out official papers. Amanda Louise Reynolds, you are under arrest for wire fraud, elder abuse, conspiracy, and forgery. As he read her Miranda rights, Amanda made one last desperate attempt. Marshall, please. I am sorry. I made mistakes. But I am family. No. Amanda. Family protects each other. You are a predator. I can change. Federal prison will give you plenty of time to work on that. Agent Hayes handcuffed her gently but firmly. Mrs. Reynolds, you have the right to remain silent. You have the right to an attorney. As they walked toward the FBI surveillance van, Amanda turned back once. This is not over. Marshall, yes, I said quietly. It is. The FBI van pulled away at 4:00 p.m. Amanda Reynolds, real estate fraud specialist, was now federal prisoner number pending. My backyard was silent, except for birds and distant traffic. 30 family members and neighbors processed what they had just witnessed. Billy broke the silence. Grandpa Marshall, was that lady really trying to steal our house? Yes. Buddy, but she failed. Because you are smarter than her. Because I had help from good people. Agent Hayes returned from the van. Professional but relaxed now. Judge Marshall will need your statement for the record. Of course. How long have you been watching her? 2 years. Your call accelerated our timeline. Good. What happens next? Amanda Reynolds will be processed at the Chicago Federal Detention Center. Initial hearing tomorrow morning. Federal magistrate will deny bail given flight risk. Laura stepped forward. Agent Hayes, how many people did she steal from 50 confirmed victims? Combined losses of $2.5 million. Will they get their money back? We have recovered $2 million so far. Asset forfeiture will cover most of the remainder. Daniel looked broken. Agent Hayes, what about me? Did I break any laws, Mr. Reynolds? Our investigation shows you had no knowledge of your wife's activities. You are a victim here, not a perpetrator. What kind of victim identity theft? She used your name on several forged documents. We will help you clear your credit and legal standing. Mrs. Jenkins had questions. Agent Hayes, how did this fraud ring operate? Sophisticated organization? They targeted elderly homeowners recovering from medical procedures, used social media to identify vulnerable targets, forged medical evaluations claiming dementia or incompetency, rushed property transfers before families could intervene. How did they choose victims? Hospital discharge records, obituary notices for spouses, real estate databases showing single elderly owners. Billy was fascinated. Like detectives, but bad detectives. Agent Hayes smiled. Exactly. Bad detectives. And Grandpa Marshall is like a good detective. Your grandfather is one of the best judges I have ever worked with. I felt a warmth I had not experienced since Catherine died. Agent Hayes, what is Amanda's likely sentence with cooperation? 18 to 25 years. Without cooperation, life sentence. Will she cooperate? Usually do when facing life in prison. Good. And the other ring members, 7 arrests planned for tomorrow morning. Coordinated raids across Illinois. This investigation is the largest elder fraud bust in state history. Laura hugged me. Dad, I am proud of you. For what? For protecting yourself. For protecting other elderly people. For getting justice. Daniel was quiet, processing betrayal and shame. Dad, I am sorry. I should have seen this. Son, con artists specialize in deception. She fooled professional investigators for months. But I lived with her. I should have known. What would you have looked for? Stacks of stolen money, forged documents labeled fraud evidence. Agent Hayes nodded. Mr. Reynolds, your wife maintained perfect operational security, separate bank accounts, encrypted communications, false business records. Even her co-conspirators did not know her real identity. Her real identity. Amanda Reynolds is an alias. Her legal name is Margaret Amanda Keller. 4 previous arrests for financial fraud in Indiana, Michigan, and Ohio. Daniel stared. I have been married to someone named Margaret for 6 years. Yes, I never knew her real name. Criminals change identities frequently. New names, new backgrounds, new personality traits. What else did I not know about her? She has 3 previous marriages under different names. Both ended with elder fraud charges. Daniel sat down heavily. I am an idiot. No, I said firmly. You are a victim, Mrs. Jenkins brought perspective. Young man, my husband was fooled by a door-to-door scammer in 1988. Lost $3,500 to a fake driveway repair company. Smart people get fooled by professional criminals. Billy had more questions. Agent Hayes, will Grandpa Marshall have to go to court? Yes, but as a witness, not a defendant. He will testify about Amanda's attempted fraud. Will it be scary? Not for your grandfather. He spent 28 years in federal courtrooms. Will the bad lady be there? She will be there in handcuffs. Agent Hayes gathered his equipment. Judge Marshall, thank you for your cooperation. This case will save dozens of elderly people from becoming victims. Agent Hayes, thank you for excellent police work. Sir, you made this case, your documentation, your recordings, your tactical patience. That is what built our prosecution. Old habits, good habits. As Agent Hayes left, the extended family began cleaning up the barbecue. Normal Memorial Day activities resuming after extraordinary circumstances. But something had fundamentally changed. I was not just Marshall, grieving widower anymore. I was Judge Marshall, protector of the vulnerable. The family saw me differently now, with respect instead of concern, with pride instead of pity. Laura stayed late to help clean up. Dad, what happens to Daniel? He will heal. He is strong like his mother. And you, I am fine. Honey, are you really fine? I considered the question. For the first time since Catherine died. Yes, I feel useful again. You have always been useful. I have been surviving. Today, I remembered what it feels like to serve justice. Will you miss it, miss what? The excitement, the investigation, working with FBI agents. I smiled. Laura, I am 70 years old. I have had enough excitement. But if another Amanda showed up, then I would handle it the same way. How patiently, carefully, and with federal backup. Billy ran up with a question. Grandpa Marshall, can we have barbecue again next week? Why? Because this was the best barbecue ever. Because of the FBI agents. Because the bad lady cannot steal our house anymore. Out of the mouths of babes. Yes, buddy. We can have barbecue next week. Will there be more bad guys to catch? I hope not. But if there are, then we will catch them, too. The Chicago Tribune ran the story Wednesday morning. Federal judge helps FBI bust elder fraud ring. Front page above the fold with my photograph from 2018. The article detailed everything. Amanda's arrest, the 2-year investigation, 50 victims, 2.5 million recovered. But the story went deeper. By Thursday, 4 more victims had contacted FBI with additional evidence. By Saturday, investigators had identified 65 total victims across 5 states. Amanda Reynolds, Margaret Amanda Keller, was the linchpin of the largest elder fraud operation in Midwest region history. Channel 9 News interviewed me Friday evening. Judge Marshall, what would you tell other elderly people who might be targeted by similar scams? Trust your instincts. If family members suddenly claim you are incompetent, ask for independent medical evaluation. If anyone pressures you to sign legal documents quickly, refuse. And remember, real family protects your interests, not their own. What made you suspicious of your daughter-in-law? Timing. She showed no interest in my welfare until my house became valuable and I became vulnerable. How did you know to contact the FBI? I did not contact the FBI initially. I contacted former colleagues for advice. They connected me with Agent Hayes. What advice do you have for families watch for sudden changes in elderly relatives' legal or financial situations? Be suspicious of anyone who claims your loved one needs immediate power of attorney. And remember, cognitive decline does not happen overnight. And the interview aired Saturday at 6 p.m. By Tuesday, I had received 50 phone calls, elderly people reporting suspicious behavior from family members. Adult children concerned about their parents' sudden legal document changes. Real estate agents who had witnessed questionable transactions. Agent Hayes visited Wednesday. Judge Marshall, your interview triggered a flood of tips. Good tips. Excellent tips. We have identified 4 additional fraud rings operating in Illinois. How many additional victims? Potentially hundreds. What do you need from me? Your expertise. The FBI wants to create an elder fraud task force. Would you consider consulting? I thought about it for exactly 4 seconds. Yes. Part-time position. Review cases. Interview suspects. Advise on prosecution strategy. When do I start? Next Tuesday. That afternoon. Laura called. Dad, I saw the news interview. You looked good. I felt good. Mom would be proud. I hope so. Dad, can I ask you something? Anything? Why did you not just call the police when you first suspected Amanda? Because local police do not handle complex financial crimes, and because I needed federal evidence for federal charges. But you risked everything. What if she had succeeded? She could not succeed. I had too much documentation, too many witnesses, and too much legal knowledge, but still. Laura, your mother died believing I had spent my life serving justice. I was not going to let some 2-bit criminal make her wrong. Amanda's trial began 7 weeks later. Federal court, Chicago. Same courthouse where I had served for 28 years. I testified for 5 hours, detailed her attempted fraud, her psychological manipulation, her calculated targeting of elderly victims. The jury deliberated 100 minutes. Guilty on all counts. Federal sentencing guidelines. 25 years. No possibility of parole. Judge Patricia Gonzalez delivered the sentence. Mrs. Keller, you preyed systematically on elderly Americans during their most vulnerable moments. You stole not just money, but dignity, security, and peace of mind from people who deserve protection, not exploitation. Your crimes represent a particularly cruel form of theft, stealing from those who built our communities, raised our families, and earned their security through decades of hard work. This court sentences you to 25 years in federal prison, followed by 6 years supervised probation. You will also pay full restitution to all victims. Amanda showed no emotion. Professional criminals rarely do. But justice was served. Daniel filed for divorce the day after sentencing. Dad, I need to start over. You should. Will you help me however I can? I need to understand how I got fooled. You got fooled because you loved someone who did not exist. How do I avoid it happening again? Trust your family's judgment. Listen when people who love you express concerns. You tried to warn me. I tried to show you evidence. You were not ready to see it. I am now. The Elder Fraud Task Force launched in October. Federal task force combining FBI agents, retired judges, elder care advocates, and financial crime specialists. Our mission: identify fraud patterns, educate vulnerable populations, and prosecute predators. In our first 4 months, we have arrested 14 fraud ring operators, recovered $4.5 million in stolen assets, prevented an estimated $9 million in attempted fraud, educated over 2,500 elderly Illinois residents about scam prevention. More importantly, we have changed the conversation about elder abuse. It is not shameful to be targeted by sophisticated criminals. It is not embarrassing to ask for help. It is not weakness to verify legal documents. Billy, now 10, has become the neighborhood elder fraud education specialist. Mrs. Jenkins, if anyone brings a notary to your house, call Grandpa Marshall first. Mr. Johnson, do not sign any papers unless Grandpa Marshall looks at them. Catherine would have laughed at that. Her husband, the retired federal judge, getting legal advice filtered through a 10-year-old. But Billy understands something important. Justice is not just about punishing criminals. It is about protecting the vulnerable. 1 year later, everything changed. The house feels alive again. Laura visits twice weekly with Billy. Daniel brings his new girlfriend, Jennifer, a pediatric nurse who treats elderly patients with genuine respect. Mrs. Jenkins drops by for coffee every Friday. We discuss neighborhood watch strategies and review suspicious visitor reports. The Smith family includes me in their Monday dinners. 3 generations around one table, sharing stories and protecting each other. This Memorial Day, we hosted 55 people. Agent Hayes brought his wife and daughters. Judge Gonzalez attended with her family. Dr. Carter came with her grandchildren. The barbecue lasted until sunset. No criminals, no fraud attempts, no fear, just community. The Elder Fraud Task Force continues growing. We have trained over 5,500 elderly Illinoisans in scam recognition, prevented an estimated 16 million in fraud attempts, prosecuted 40 predators. But the real victory is not numbers. It is confidence. Elderly people calling us when something feels wrong. Families asking questions instead of accepting explanations. Communities watching out for vulnerable neighbors. Banks reporting suspicious transactions. A culture that protects rather than exploits. Billy turned 11 last month. For his birthday, he requested a tour of federal court. Grandpa Marshall, I want to see where you worked. Why? Because you help good people and catch bad people. That is what judges do. Can I be a judge someday? You can be anything you want. Buddy, I want to be like you. Catherine would have loved hearing that. After her death, I thought my useful life was over. I was wrong. Experience does not diminish with age. It accumulates. Wisdom does not fade with retirement. It crystallizes. Purpose does not end with grief. It evolves. Amanda Reynolds taught me something unexpected. Predators see elderly people as easy targets. They are wrong. We are not easy targets. We are experienced survivors who have learned to recognize danger, document evidence, and fight back strategically. We are not vulnerable. We are connected to networks of support, legal resources, and protective systems. We are not alone. We are part of communities that value our contributions and defend our rights. The message is simple. Respect is earned through character, not demanded through manipulation. Those who have lived longest often understand most clearly. And sometimes the quietest person in the room holds all the power. If you are watching this, please subscribe and let me know where you are watching from, because every voice matters in the fight against elder fraud. Every story shared protects another potential victim. Every boundary established makes predators think twice. Together, we are building a culture where experience is respected, wisdom is valued, and justice is served. Welcome to that. If you like this story, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your impressions of this story in the comments. To listen to the next story, click on the box on the left. Thank you for watching.